There was a lot of things about the telepathy tapes where, like, if you don't think too hard about it, it makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't really hold up under scrutiny. So once you start asking those questions of like, "Oh, well, what does that mean? Mom was sitting right next to the kid?" Like, were they
Mm,
able to, you know, were they touching the letterboard? Were they moving it? Or,
mm,
uh, there were some experiments they did with, like, these abstract picture cards, and, they, had some justifications as to why they used these abstract pictures and not, like, concrete examples of things, and it kind of makes sense if you don't think about it too hard. You're like, "Oh, well, sure, that because that, gives the kids, a way to express their kind of unique understanding of the card, but it also opens up the door for a number of different right answers." So, instead of just having a picture card that's like a photograph of an apple, if the kid said "fire truck," that would be clearly incorrect, but if it's a kind of an
mm,
abstract picture that has a lot of reds and yellows and oranges and maybe evokes something that could be a fire truck or it could be fruit. It could be a still life type of a deal. That I think again, I'm saying I don't think it was intentional in the sense that people are directly trying to mislead individuals, but I think that it's kind of this something that's maybe done out of convenience because it works.
yeah. What did you think about S2C being the only form of AAC used in the telepathy tapes?
This is the biggest probably the big like, top 3 biggest issues I had with the podcast
Yep.
overall is that they
Yeah.
they did this false dilemma thing a lot, which is a very common logical fallacy of saying, in these kids' lives, they only have the option of either a life of silence and no communication whatsoever or spelling to communicate. And for somebody who doesn't know a lot about the field of speech pathology and about working with kids with complex needs, they might think, oh, yeah, well, a speech therapist, they're probably just trying to get the kids to talk. And if the kids can't talk, I bet they just give up. That I feel like if you don't know any better, that may be the path that you go down. And so they, they did not mention at
Yeah.
any point in any of the episodes any of the other dozens of AAC systems that are backed by evidence and that are not prone to these kinds of facilitator interference, other issues that we've been talking about that exist in the world. They didn't even mention them.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noted, like, even just, like, a quick Google search when I was looking up, like, AAC versus S2C. In 30 seconds, you see, okay, like, here's a list of all the different styles of AAC, and S2C is just one of them, and it's pretty controversial, as you said. So, like, what is the deal with not like, they say very early on in the tapes that they wanna take a scientific approach to this, and so if you're not including other styles of AAC, regardless of, like, how, terribly some of the experiments are set up, that seems like one of the first things you would do is, like, control for different techniques of communication.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that definitely was a big blind spot of the telepathy
Yeah.
tapes for sure.